Hi everyone, and welcome back to Art with Mrs. S. Today we're going to be using some Polymer Sculpty eraser clay, and this is what it kind of looks like when you buy it in the store. And as you can see, you're going to be able to make different pencil top erasers, and this gives you an example. There's a monster or even a duck or a turtle, and you even have this little heart. So there's some different colors that come in here, and then instead of having this dry out like clay, you actually have to bake it in an oven. So I'll be helping with that part today. But what I'd like you to do first, you're going to get a few things that are going to help you out. You're going to have a brand new pencil, and you'll notice that it has your name on it. If you don't want to do that part, keep it on there, because otherwise I won't know when I go to bake these whose is whose. You'll also get an option between 6 or 8 different pieces of clay. There's different colors, first come, first serve, and you'll need about half of this. So I'll help you get it kind of out of this packaging. The great thing about this clay is kind of like oil clay. It doesn't really dry out, but you'll notice that it looks kind of crumbly. That's because it's been sitting for a long time. So I'm going to show you how to kind of get that back to where it needs to be today. And you'll also have a popsicle stick. Those are going to help you out some too. So let me get this about in half. So you'll get about a half a block of this stuff, or the Sculpty clay. And you're going to start warming it up in your hands to soften it. So really just squash it back and forth. If pieces crumble off, just squash them right back on there until it starts to get to this kind of smooth, even, soft consistency. If you start to sculpt with this too soon, it's going to be kind of crumbly, or you'll notice there's lots of cracks in here, and it's not going to be as easy to work with. So take a good 3 to 5 minutes just to kind of warm it up. If you want to press it against your desk or a hard surface, that works out too. I think your hands just work out the best because you're actually warming it up, not hitting it, not throwing it. And mine is just about ready to start sculpting. We're going to be making an Among Us character today for our pencil top eraser. And I want to show you what my blue one looks like that I've already made. So this one's already been made, but I have not baked it in the oven, so it's still soft. If I didn't like this, or if I messed it up, I could still squash it up. After we bake it in the oven, it'll be hard, or somewhat hard, like an eraser again, and it will really work like an eraser top. So this is kind of where we're going to go with this today. We're only going to use one color. If you wanted to, when they were dry after getting out of the oven and cooled down, we could paint the eyes different or the shield different, and then we could also do something with the back. But I'm going to leave it just all one color. So this is the blue one, so you kind of can see where it's going. And I'm going to use orange for my video today. So you'll want to actually take off a big piece. So you're going to need a big piece for the body. You'll also need just a really small piece for the eyes, or I'm going to call it the eyes, the mask. And then kind of a medium piece to sculpt for that back or that backpack. So take your big piece and we're going to roll it. We don't want an even sphere, so actually after I roll that ball, I'm going to kind of squash it into more of an eggy, jelly bean, potato kind of shape. And this is where I might have to lay mine flat too. I'm going to take this popsicle stick and chop out towards the bottom. So it looks like I put a fork in there. And I'm going to make it so I can make these legs. Now what's really great about this clay, again, is that it's not going to dry. It's very forgiving. So as this is still gushy, I can squish it around. If I messed up and made that too big or too small, I can squish it all back up and make that kind of eggy, potato-y shape again. Now you'll notice too, as I'm working, I'm kind of smoothing out some of those cracks. Kind of got in there and got in those legs there. I gave you the pencil early because this can make a really great tool. You don't want to get too much of that pencil marking on there to help smooth out those areas that are hard to reach with your hands. Sorry, make sure you can see that. So this is kind of the base. It doesn't really look like a character yet, but it's getting there. I can lay that flat. The next piece I'm going to do is the backpack. So this is just that medium-sized piece. Notice I'm kind of squashing the sides, kind of making it into that rectangle or that square-like shape. and I can put that on the back. Now look at mine. Mine's really big, so if you don't like how big that is, you can take more off, reshape it, and now I'm ready to squash it on the back. Just be careful when you're attaching pieces. You don't want to press too hard because you can actually squash the details that you've already made out, which is fine. You just kind of have to re-squash it again then. And you'll want to make sure that where these pieces touch or where they connect, that you kind of gently squish together. If you don't do this step, sometimes once it's in the oven, you could lose these pieces, these details. They just kind of pop right off. It's a good time to reshape some things. Be careful I'm not squashing those legs. Smooth this out. Make sure you can really see this in there. And really where that backpack, the jetpack touches the back of my character. Just smoothing those out. And then if anything got squashed, just go back and fix it. So now I have the body, I got the backpack or jetpack on, and now I'm ready for the eyeball piece. So the last piece that you had, and I even have a little extra because my book bag was too big, I'm going to roll this into a ball again, and I'm going to squish it kind of into an oval shape. And now I can piece it on to where the face would be, not squishing my book bag. And notice too, this sticks out really far. I did that on purpose so when I squash the sides, it will get smaller. And then again, when I go to squash this on my pencil, it's probably going to get squashed again. But if it sticks out a little farther like that, it's not going to hurt anything. Squishing all those little pieces around on the edge. And I don't want to leave this bumpiness here. I'm going to really smooth that out. You can smooth it with your tools. I said your pencil. That popsicle stick's going to be great. I like to use my hands too. Makes it nice and smooth. When you're all done sculpting those 3 parts, you're actually going to take your pencil, and it looks kind of silly. You're going to put it towards the bottom as center as you can, and be very careful. You don't want to press too hard, so even twist, so you're not squashing all of those things you just made. If you do squish them too much or mess them up, just go back and fix them. There you go. And it's in about, looks like halfway up that eraser, so we're going to leave it just about there. I like to set these with the pencil still intact, so before I put this in the oven, I'll take the pencil out and re-put your name on a piece of parchment paper. But for the most part, you're going to be done today. Finish up those last few details, smooth everything out, but you're going to turn this pencil in to me today so I can get them put in the oven. And I think they go in for about 20 minutes in an oven. So I'll get that taken care of for you today. Thanks for joining me. I can't wait to see all of your Among Us characters. Hope you have fun.